Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to Payday's first hand review here for the Thirst Lounge. Like I said, this is my very first one, so please go easy on me. But hopefully it's going to turn out alright and you guys enjoy it and we do a lot more. This hand is from a hand that I played last year on a live stream over here in England. It was the £1,000 GUKPT Luton event. Grosvenor host the GUKPT events, and they're very prestigious events over here in England. Probably one of the most well-known circuit events, and yeah, they kind of hold some kind of buzz over these events because they are very well run, great structures as well, and some big prize pools. I think in this one there was like 84k up top, which is obviously very nice. So yeah, this hand is a pretty fun one. There is a couple of mistakes in the hand as well. This is the reason why I have showed this hand. But it'd be great to get your thoughts on the overall hand itself. And yeah, let's get into the hand.
Sublime's 3 and 6, running ante of 50.
Alright guys, so as you just heard from the commentators there, the levels are 300, 600 with a running 50 ante. At this stage I had 52.7k in chips, so we're sitting very nice. We have a very good stack. We've started the day on 25k, so we've done some work to build this up. Let's see how the hand plays out.
You heard the Mike Matteso storyteller.
Which one's that one?
There's quite a funny story. Someone tweeted about it the other day. So they're playing with Mike Matteso at the win, playing a re-entry comp.
Yeah.
And he busts a player. The player walks to the cash desk and gets redrawn at the same table. And Mike Matteso goes, "Don't I know you from somewhere?"
Okay guys, so we are under the gun +1 and we look down at pocket 4s. Like I said, we've started the hand with 52.7k, so we are very deep. If we were shorter here, I would just go for a standard fold, but the players to my left hadn't really been putting up too much aggression pre-flop, so I decided to open the 4s from under the gun +1. I feel it's fine. We can fold as well, especially in this structure, but yeah, we decided to open, and it folds around to C8, who is a very good reg. His name's Stato. He, I believe he just come second in the latest event of this event actually, about 2 weeks ago. So yeah, he is on the tighter side. He doesn't tend to bloat pots pre, from what I've seen, and we do see him with the 9-10 of diamonds here, and he decides to make the call, as you're about to see. So let's see how the hand unfolds.
Very nice. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Did I tell you I'd interviewed Mike Matteso once?
Oh, did you tell me?
Sorry.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, so after Andrew makes the call, it comes around to the small blind, who is a player called Les. Don't know too much about him. I have seen him about a bit, so I feel like he's fairly reggy. He's sitting on a big stack of 85.5k at the start of the hand, and he picks up the 5-3 hearts in the small blind. He decides to make it up and call the raise. And Tamar in the big blind decides to go for the fold, so we are going 3 ways to the flop.
I can't remember mentioning it. 3-way flop. The old 5-3 has been out chunks today. We have a flush draw for the 5-3 with a bottom pair.
Yeah, big flop for the 5-3.
Big flop for Les.
Chase round to Andrew.
Alright guys, so we have a queen high flop with 2 hearts. Not the greatest board for the 4s. Small blind checks. We decided to go for a check. We did think about going for a bet in game, and in hindsight I do feel like a bet is probably going to be best. We can then obviously kind of break down the ranges of our opponents much better with a bet here. I kind of feel like a lot of the time when we do check, as we do here, we do lose the hand a lot. Whereas C-bet may actually just win the pot on a high frequency. But we do decide to go for a check, and Stato in position decides to check behind as well, as you're about to see, and we then go and face a turn.
He elects to check back, doesn't want to take a stab. 10 on the turn. We see a bet from Adam. And Andrew's gonna flick.
So guys, on this turn, it is the 10 of spades. Now the small blind checks, it comes to us, and I decided to bet very, very small. This is something that I do a lot, and in my experience so far, by using these sizings, it works. It works a whole bunch. I know we don't actually rep too much here, but it's going to be tough for our opponent to kind of rep a hand here as well. Stato could obviously have some 10x. He can have some king jacks, jack 9 suiteds, ace jacks, which are obviously just going to call. I don't feel like we're going to be getting raised too much in Stato's spot here. He leads all of his queens. He probably leads his 3s and 6s on the flop as well. Leads hearts. So yeah, I kind of feel like betting small here was absolutely fine in game, and we can kind of construct the kind of hand that Stato would be working with if he decides to call, and then we can kind of see what the small blind does as well. So yeah, we bet very, very small into this pot. Stato calls, and it comes around to Les in the small blind.
The 1.2k in, and Les here. It's actually a really nice raise spot, the way this hand's played. Really nice spot to raise, just because you think about your opponent's ranges here. You expect Adam to bet the flop with all Queen X and sets and them type of hands. You expect, don't expect, sorry, Andrew to bet the flop when it's checked to him with them type of hands. Yeah.
Well, we face a check raise on the turn from the small blind. I'll be honest, alarm bells were ringing in the fact that this kind of felt weird. To be honest, the way the hand played, I wasn't really too sure what was going on. Obviously, we have pocket fours here on a very wet board with three overcards, sorry. It just doesn't look like a good hand at first glance, but let me tell you a couple of things about this hand and what my reasoning for my decision was. So the flop checked through, which is absolutely fine. Now on this turn, I expect small blind to be leading all of his Queen X and a large amount of his 10x. From the small blind, I guess we can give him top 2, so Queen 10, which will definitely bet this turn. Jack 10, Ace 10, King 10 suited, maybe 9-10 suited. I feel like these hands are going to be betting, so I don't really feel like he's going to have too much of a check raise value range here. It doesn't really make much sense. I don't really know what this bet is achieving. It doesn't really build a story. So he does go for the check raise. I know for a fact that I can rep many more hands than what Stato does from just calling the 1200 bet that I made on the turn. So I decide to call. But what I do want to point out as well, guys, is the way that Les put these chips into the middle. These are two very, very key things that also helps me in making my decision of calling here. So when he cuts out the chips, he doesn't really think for too long, and the way that his hand goes down to the chips and kind of just picks them up, there wasn't much thought about, you know, how much he was actually pulling out of that stack. He kind of just put his hand in, pulled them out, and if you have like a very, very strong hand here, if you have like 3s, 6s, Queen 10, which you decide to check for some reason, I don't think you're just gonna go down and just just use that action. In game, it felt very, very odd. And I also want to point out another thing. When he put the chips into the middle like this, he then flicked them. If you notice, he done the flick with his finger, and the chips went out. This is something that I've spoke about in my live tells video on the Thirst Lounge YouTube channel. And yeah, it's just the way he put his chips in, the story that he was trying to make with the check raise. I just wasn't really buying it, so I decided to go for the call, knowing that Stato is probably going to be folding behind a lot of the time, and we do go to see a river.
They're calling out the small blind. He would check. He can possibly check hands like Queen 10 twice. He can check sets twice.
Adam does make the call. Is Andrew calling? Or Stato?
I don't think Stato can call now. After I know we can see he has the best hand. Well, it looks like if he makes this call, I'll be impressed. No,
nice
he just can't call. He does have the best hand,
he
but
has got the best hand.
you just got to let it go with this action. Let's see a river, which
he
is
would have won the hand as well.
a 7. So is Les going to fire again here? And he is. The only real hand Adam can really have here, strong sort of hand, is maybe pocket queens. Only 3 combos of that. And now Les bets.
So the 7 of diamonds peels off on the river, guys, and Les decides to fire 7k into 15k, just under half pot. Now, when Les was cutting out his chips, I was kind of expecting a bigger bet here, to be honest. I would have believed a bigger bet. And with him making it this size, I kind of felt pretty confident straight away that I could definitely make this call and be right. I feel like he's going to go pretty big with a lot of his value range here. Sets Queen 10, his Ace 10. I feel like all these hands are going to go pretty big. He probably expects me to have a lot of draws with my sizing on the turn. Sort of the checks on the flop, the sizing on the turn, and then just the call to his check raise. He may feel that I have some draws here, which obviously I'm not going to call anyway. So unless he's trying to induce something, but I don't think 7k is going to induce. So a lot of the time I feel like people are just going to go big here and hope that I call off with like my 1 pair hands, if he does have a set or top 2, for example. But yeah, making it 7k, I kind of just didn't really buy it. Once again, the story just doesn't really check out. 7 doesn't really help him too much, unless he's kind of got the 4-5, which he decided to check raise on the turn. Like 4-5 of hearts, for example. That is a hand that can definitely check raise turn. And if he has that, then fair play to him. So yeah, this is what I do, guys. I stuck with my guns and I decided to make the call. And let's see what he had.
7k. So Adam, a long hard think about this one. He can plausibly have bluffs as well. He can have hands like King Jack, obviously 3x of hearts we can see in this case. But he can have a lot of value. Hands like sets of 6s, sets of 3s, Queen 10 that he wants to check raise, elects to check twice. But it might get into that sort of meta game if Adam is aware that Les knows that and knows that neither his or Andrew's range, the way it played on the turn, is strong.
That's a great call.
Yeah, it's a really
That's
great
a
call.
very, very good call.
So obviously we see that he has the 5-3 of hearts, guys, and it felt pretty boss-like in game, to be fair, to be able to make that call against a good player. Obviously, like I said, Les, I've seen about, he does play a lot, he's a good reg. So yeah, it felt good, and it kind of gave me some good, a good image at the table when people were playing me for the rest of the day. I ended up coming 13th in this for like, I think 1700 or something, which was annoying, seeing so much money up top. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this hand history. I will try and make it better as I go on, and I'll try and make this a regular thing. Maybe do like a weekly one of some online hands from streams and stuff. And yeah, until next time, guys, appreciate it. Make sure you check out the other videos, and I will catch you all soon. Peace.